Hey everybody, I wanted to start off today's video with something slightly different. I've already unboxed everything, and after I've done the unboxing and listened and stuff and read the book, I decided it was really important for me to just do a little bit more research and find out exactly what's going on. I've been going down this crazy rabbit hole that's got me incredibly excited. Terranigma is an amazing game. If you're not already familiar with it, do be sure to check out the review that I did of it several years ago. The video hasn't held up super well, but I was definitely speaking from the heart at the time, and that holds true. My feelings about Terranigma still hold to this day. Highly recommend that you guys check that out. Now, here's what's going on. Some of the original creators were kind of reached out to by a fan, Kisato, who inspired them because they put up this video about the anniversary of Terranigma and how much it meant to them, and it was a great video. And I'll link to that as well for you to check out. But this ended up reaching out to the some of the original creators of Terranigma, talking about one of the composers and the art director, who are now really reinvigorated, essentially. And they want to bring this game to modern platforms. They want to essentially revive Terranigma, which is music to my ears, pun not intended. Now, this is incredible, because normally when it's some petition about reviving X and X and Y and Z, it's like whatever, you know, it's not really anything to get really excited about. There's a million of them, but with some of the actual people behind the game trying to put their efforts into exciting the community, oh man, this has me hyped. And how could I possibly not contribute to this, at least in some way? Consider citing the change.org petition. If you're interested, I'll put a link to that in the description. Now, on with the unboxing. The package arrived as shown here, slightly less mangled than this. Did tear this up a little bit to help anonymize things a little bit, but let's go ahead and open her up. Looks like normally we would be able to tear this, but the shipping company, the intermediary that I had shipped this through, Tenso, must have taped over some of this in order to help protect it for shipping. But I'll go ahead and just see if I can kind of use that that as a point to kind of help tear this. And yeah, looks like I should probably just cut this. Worst unboxing ever. So this is tied to a Terranigma revival movement that is happening that I first found out about on Twitter not too long ago. It has some of the original staff from Quintet on board, and it looks like they're really giving it a go to try to bring this series back. And that's really exciting to me. And as a result, I couldn't not contribute to that in some way. So what have we here? And this is the first little bit here. You can see this is probably my art book. And I'll just remove this piece of paper behind it that has my address on it. We'll just throw that away for a minute. So this is the art book for Tenchi Sozo, Terranigma. And I also have this that arrived. It is a commemorative CD. Now, this commemorative CD, I don't believe is actually a soundtrack of Terranigma. It is instead music that is inspired by Terranigma, as I understand it. I'm definitely gonna have to give it a listen and give you some impressions on that a little bit later on. But what I can do right now is go ahead and take a look at the art book with you. Because this, a lot of you probably already know and remember this. Terranigma is one of my favorite games of all time. And this involves all kinds of artwork from a gallery that they had, a showing for Tenchi Sozo. Here is the back, or is it the front? I don't know. And
On the edge here, it shows the title in Japanese and in English. Terranigma Tenchi Sozo Design Note. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the binding here a little bit on the edge. Oh, it's a little battle worn, unfortunately, from the shipping process, but that is probably my own fault for not having them repackage it for international shipping purposes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is excellent. First page we load up here some of the box artwork from Terranigma. Oh man, some of these are so much higher resolution than the art that I've seen in other places. Look at this. That looks incredible. We got Ark and Ellie and is that the wise man? I've never seen him in such high fidelity. And there's Yomi. Oh my gosh. A lot of the miscellaneous character designs. Oh man. This has me incredibly excited. And now that I've unboxed this, I'm gonna go ahead and actually listen to some of this and dive through some of this art book and actually give it a thorough read through, and we'll follow up here shortly with a brief review of each of these things here.
Okay, so now I've actually had time to go down that rabbit hole, and now I know that the art director, Kamui Fujiwara, is, holy cow, an incredible artist who did a lot of original illustrations for this art book, and they are freaking outstanding, as well as a lot of original design documents from the original art that they produced back in the day. And oh gosh, and then one of the composers, Miyoko Kobayashi, in tandem with Masanori Hikichi, they were the original composers of the music in Terranigma. Now, I don't believe Masanori is involved in this, not necessarily yet, but the music was inspired by Terranigma. It's like an arranged version of the soundtrack, if you will. It's got some callbacks, it's got some similar themes. Miyoko Kobayashi did a really outstanding job on this CD, and here's my review. First, I just really want to say that Miyoko Kobayashi did an amazing, outstanding job in channeling some of that original energy into the recordings that were on the CD. The CD in and of itself is only about 22 minutes long, unfortunately, but it's like listening to new music from the game for the first time in however many years. It still had the power to reach out and touch my heart, and it fits perfectly. It's like it was written the day of. It's like a missing tracks from the original soundtrack, right? Shivers. And I just remember listening to some of these for the first time, and some of them I was not ready for that motif because it just goes straight for the heart, you know? I feel it in my heart. And I'm gonna include some samples of these tracks, just enough to kind of give you an idea of what they are, and they are really, really nice. The actual book has some incredible illustrations. Kamui Fujiwara only got better with age. Seriously talented work. It's really interesting to look through all of these design documents, and even though I can't read Japanese and I can't understand a lot of the notes that he left in there, it's really nice to look through and see the evolution of certain ideas, the evolution of the design of Ark over time into what he eventually became, to see alternate versions of him where he wields a sword instead of a spear. It's incredible work, and all of the finished work. He made some brand new finished illustrations that are colored in and everything. The quality of the work is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I can't show it all. I wish I could show you everything. I wish that there were downloads of PDFs and MP3s that you could download on Spotify. I wish that there were. I don't know. Maybe there are. I haven't found them, but I have the physical copies and they are so nice. So I don't unfortunately feel like you can see these anymore at this point. I don't think you can buy them because it was only for a limited time during a gallery. I tweeted about it over on my Twitter account when it was active and when people could go and try to purchase them. I don't feel like there was too many out there. A lot of stuff already sold out by the time I got registered even. But I'm so glad to finally have some extra stuff in my possession of Terranigma. So now I've got the soundtrack, the original soundtrack, the book, and my own copy of Tenchi Sozo. I am so excited. Oh man, we never get this sort of cool stuff here in the West, and the fact that I had to go through a few hoops with Tenso in order to have it shipped to me, there's a small price to pay. Oh, look at that. That is just... Are these not just gorgeous works of art? I'll show some more, but in the end, that's really all I have to say is just I'm incredibly excited of the things that I have here, but also I'm incredibly excited by the fact that Kamui Fujiwara, Miyoko Kobayashi, and Kisato are working so hard together to try to bring Terranigma to a new audience. Because if it does, if Terranigma does finally come to the West, I feel like it'll be exposed to so many more new people who missed out because it never came to the United States. But I feel like it was made for us back then. This game is the epitome. It is the height. It is my favorite Super Nintendo action RPG, and I think my favorite Super Nintendo game, personally. So the fact that we have this now and that there's hope on the horizon, everybody, please, if you haven't already, consider becoming part of the Change.org petition. I will link to that down below. And wish us luck, because if this comes to Nintendo Switch, I could very well die. Anyways, that's about it for me for now, but if you liked what you saw, please be sure to get subscribed, because I am SuperDerek. I make thoughtful and thought-provoking videos for gamers who love RPGs, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.